Welcome back to the MMA scene. Today's video presents Rafael Fiziev has admitted that he knew he had lost to Justin Gaethje before the final scorecards were announced, and he blames his performance on getting caught up in fighting one of the most exciting fighters in the sport. Fiziev lost to Gaethje in the co-main event of UFC 286, which was a highly anticipated matchup between two tough lightweights. While Fiziev was favored to win the bout, Gaethje relied on his violent stand-up style, and in the end, he won the majority decision with two judges scoring the fight in his favor. In an interview with Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour, Fiziev expressed frustration for abandoning his pre-fight game plan and getting caught up in Gaethje's game. He admitted that he played his opponent's game instead of using his IQ and sticking to his game plan. Although Fiziev pocketed $50,000 for participating in the fight of the night, he still felt that he lost the fight, stating that he knew he had lost even before the scorecards were announced. Fiziev's defeat was followed by a welterweight title fight between Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman, which ended with Edwards overcoming a point deduction to secure a majority decision win. Jorge Masvidal wants to meet Colby Covington in the octagon at least one more time before calling it a career. During a recent appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, Masvidal pledged to face off with Covington again before he hangs up the gloves.
What happened with you and Colby?
He's a bitch, bro, and he showed his true colors for the money, for the pay-per-view. He'd talk about my kids, my family, to maybe sell
And you
extra
were friends with
pay-per-views.
him?
No, not friends. I was fucking his everything, his mentor. I was already in Strikeforce. I had competed against Gilbert Melendez. I was an established pro when he came over to American Top Team. I was living up at American Top Team. I had an apartment over there for like about a year and change. He broke his hand. His girlfriend had fucking kicked him out of the place because he had given her fucking herpes and shit. No, I'm dead ass serious. So he had like nowhere to fucking live. So he asked if he could crash on my couch. I was like, yeah, fuck it, bro. We're both on this journey together. We train together. We play poker together. Fucking this and that. So I basically fed this dude for a fucking year. Lived on my couch. Didn't give me a fucking dollar because he didn't have a job. I had a fucking broken hand. It's all documented. It's all him on YouTube saying, Jorge Masvidal was my best friend. If it wasn't for Jorge, I wouldn't be here. And this and that. And then, I'm at 155. So then I come up to 170 and I start stealing a lot of, not stealing, but I start getting a lot of shine from myself. A lot of eyeballs start looking at me. And immediately, instead of like, yeah, we're fucking boys, we could fight or whatever the fuck, he turns into something fucking ugly, like everything that I did for you, you're trying to use it against me, especially my kids. He knows the relationship I have with my kids, and you're trying to use that against me. You're a fucking piece of shit. But before all that happened, I already knew he wasn't a good person because my striking coach, this is when we cut ties, me and him. My striking coach trained him from his amateur all the way to his Rafael dos Anjos fight, and he did a handshake deal with him, 5% on your fights. If you make $1,000, you make $500,000. 5% is what you're gonna pay me because that's what Joel Romero pays me. That's what Jorge Masvidal pays me. That's what all the guys that train with him pay him. And he's like accessible at all times. He will drive an hour this way, drive an hour back that way, and just give you all his knowledge. And that's what he wanted. And they shook hands on it. As soon as Colby made money, what did he do? Didn't pay my coach. So since then, I was like, bro, I want to fucking take a bat to his fucking neck. And my coach is like, don't do it, bro. You'll fight him, and that's how you'll get him for both of us. I didn't get him that time, but I promise you, before my career's over, I'm gonna fucking murder Colby in the cage, legally.
Legally. What happened illegally?
Allegedly, a lot of things happened.
Allegedly.
Bro. I don't know. They're saying a lot of things, but it's all allegedly, cuz. Shit, man.
Allegedly is a great word.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about, man.
Khamzat Chimaev believes that UFC middleweight champion Alex Pereira would be the least challenging opponent of his octagon career. Chimaev is currently waiting for his next UFC assignment, potentially at middleweight, after a long absence since his win over Kevin Holland at UFC 279 last year. Chimaev had previously called out some of the top middleweights in the UFC, including Pereira and Israel Adesanya, who are set to face off in a title rematch at UFC 287 next month. If Pereira successfully defends his title, Chimaev could be in line to face him. However, Chimaev doesn't believe that Pereira presents much of a threat to him in an MMA fight. During a recent appearance on the MMA Hour, Chimaev claimed Pereira wouldn't present much of a threat to him in the octagon.
Class he wants is much easily fight for me in the UFC.
You think you versus Alex is the easiest fight for you in the UFC?
Yeah, in my career, brother.
How long does it last, in your opinion?
What?
How long does that fight last?
First round, first minute.
Easy.
Easy.
Do you think he beats?
No punch, nothing.
Do you think he beats Israel in April?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. If Israel trains just wrestling in this training camp, he will beat him easy.
Okay. And so
the guy has zero wrestling. I don't know. Like, yes, you see, like to put that guy, you know, like crazy guy, and he's playing like, you know, like show his face like always serious, you know, that shit. Why play that much? And I don't know. I don't like that guy.
Chael Sonnen reacts to Joe Rogan's comments on George St. Pierre on his YouTube channel.
Named Joe Rogan in this case, saying that today's fighters are better than George St. Pierre. We address this and we debate this. Why? What happened to the good old day where we said, guy's on drugs? Don't listen to him. That guy's on dope. What happened to those days? That's not a rational statement. Joe Rogan is fantastic at his job, and when you talk a lot, you get some things wrong. Joe Rogan is a podcast. Are you guys aware? The Joe Rogan program, very popular. And he goes on the Joe Rogan program. He's talking to a gentleman. And he even put Masvidal over, which is great. But he even put Masvidal over as an example that today's welterweights are far superior and they're better than George St. Pierre. Now, we should just dismiss this, but I want to explain to you how we got there, because this is a person who has the right to an opinion. And it's a person that will influence your opinions. And what Joe said and how he did this math is very common. But I would like to correct you to what a non-420 mind can come up with. Joe got to that point by stating that the competition is harder now than it was then. And I hear many people doing that. What does the competition have to do with the guy? You might have an answer, but you see the problem with the thinking. That math doesn't equal anywhere in life. Does that math work? Where you're going to tell somebody about this guy? Well, go ahead. Tell them about this guy. It's what the topic is. No, instead you talked about these guys. And your commentary and rationale of these guys somehow equates to this guy. What?
Thanks for watching us. If you like, please don't forget to like and subscribe.